Hello everyone. Over the next 3 days, we're going to answer the question, what are the effects of the sun's uneven heating of the earth? We're going to have 3 labs, and these labs will demonstrate how unequal heating of the earth and the rotation of the earth cause different climates throughout the globe, throughout the world. So there's 3 different climates. We have polar regions, which are up here like the North Pole. And on the bottom, we have the South Pole. Do you see this blue line right here that goes all the way around the world? That's the equator. And here we have tropical climates. So if you look here, we see Africa, and Africa is known for being hot. Over here, we have South America. Right here in the middle, it's known to be hot. Where Colombia is, remember we talked about Ecuador, Quito, Ecuador, which is going to be on the globe. And then we had Indonesia. Where is Indonesia? Right here. We have Indonesia. That's also right on the equator. So anything around, any area around the equator is going to have a tropical climate. Like if you've ever been to Hawaii, it's very tropical there. They don't have seasons. It's always warm. And then in between the poles, the polar regions, and the tropical regions, we have temperate regions, which is a pretty mild climate. So that's going to be between the poles and the tropical area. That's temperate. So look where we are right here. Here right below Mexico, we have tropical, or actually right through the middle of Mexico, we have tropical regions, so it's warm there. And we are, there's Oakland there, Los Angeles here. We're in between, a little bit away from the coast. So we're right about here. And we have pretty mild temperatures compared to other parts of the world. We're not very humid. We're not very cold. We get a little bit warm, but generally we have pretty mild temperatures throughout the United States. What shape is the Earth? What is the shape of this? I can spin it. So what shape is this? It's a sphere. It's a sphere shape. I apologize if you're hearing crying because I got my son a puppy for this quarantine time, but my son's not here, so the puppy's crying at me. Do you think the shape of the Earth has an effect on the amount of energy received from the sun? Do you think since it's a sphere that the sun can possibly heat it unevenly? What do you think about that? So let's test if the shape of the Earth affects the amount of the thermal energy, which is heat, an area receives. And let's talk about first how the Earth rotates. It rotates on an axis. The axis is an imaginary line that goes through the middle of the Earth. So this pin is going to be the axis. It goes through the middle of the Earth. But the axis is at an angle that is 23.5 degrees. So the Earth sits at a 23.5 degree angle. This pin here, it's representing the Earth's axis. The Earth's axis is just an imaginary line that goes through the Earth, but it sits at 23.5 degrees. So you can see on this protractor, I have it as close to 23.5 as I can get it. So at this angle, it goes through the Earth. So the Earth sits at a 23.5 degree angle as it rotates. The Earth rotates around its axis in a circle once a day. So think back to the question, What are the effects of the sun's uneven heating of the earth? Let's do a lab and find out.
A 90-degree angle. You can think of a 90-degree angle as kind of like being straight up and down, like the corner of a rectangle. You guys have heard of 90-degree angles in math. This is the same thing in science. It's like a straight up and down corner. So the sun shines on certain parts of the earth at a 90-degree angle. And we're going to see that first in our lab. And then we're going to see our angle turn to 70 degrees. So it's going to go 20 degrees to the left. And look, now it's not up and down anymore. So keep this in mind as you watch the lab. So in this lab that we're doing now, we have a piece of paper that's at a 90-degree angle. Remember, 90 degrees is pretty much straight up and down. So this is the paper represents the earth and the flashlight represents the sun. And so you can imagine that this is right in the middle of the earth. So that would be the equator. And we're going to see how big of an area this flashlight covers. So there is a circle being drawn from the 90-degree angle. It's a little hard to see, but it's right here. And now the flashlight is going to remain in the same spot because the sun doesn't move. The flashlight's going to remain in the same spot, but the paper is going to be tilted to a 70-degree angle. So it's 20 degrees different than where it is right now. And we're going to see how much of an area the 70-degree angle from the flashlight or the sun creates. You can see the circle right here. So what do you think is different between the 70-degree angle and the 90-degree angle? Did the flashlight hit the paper differently between 70 degrees and 90 degrees? And if the paper is representing Earth, does all of Earth receive the same amount of light from the sun each day? Tomorrow we will discover more of this. We'll do the same kind of experiment on the globe that we used in the previous videos or previously on this video. If you have any questions, let us know. I hope you have a great day.